Welcome to Plungė, a remarkable place filled with culture and amazing views of Samogitia National Park. You'll find Plungė district in western Lithuania, and it is a part of historical Samogitia region. Plungė is less than an hour away from Klaipėda, the port city, and 3 hours away from the capital city, Vilnius. Plungė district is home to around 33,000 people. Plungė is one of those places in Lithuania that are quite unknown to foreign visitors, but Lithuanians love coming here every year for several reasons. It has one of the most beautiful manor houses in the country, Samogitia National Park with the popular Plateliai lake, and even a Soviet military base with underground ballistic missile silos. But we will get to that later. First, let's talk about Plungė city, the center of the district. Just like many cities in Lithuania, Plungė dates back centuries before. The town was established in the 16th century and it grew to become a city in the 18th century. But it is most famous for the counts of Oginski who lived here in the 19th century. Count Mykolas Oginskis built a neo-Renaissance style residential palace in 1879. Today it stands as one of the best preserved palaces in the country, with a large ancient park surrounding it. The Count was art collector and philanthropist. He established an orchestra school, and the most famous Lithuanian painter and composer of all time, Mikalojus Konstantinas Čiurlionis, was studying there in the end of the 19th century. I really admire Čiurlionis' art, so it's amazing to find his footsteps while traveling around the country. The manor still has the piano where he practiced while studying here. Oginski Palace is open today as Samogitian Art Museum. I think that's a perfect use of the palace, honoring the memory of Count Mykolas Oginskis. The museum's collection has 20th, 21st century paintings and other artworks made by artists with Samogitian roots, as well as a small archaeological collection and multiple exhibition rooms. The park outside is even older than the palace. It was formed in the 18th century in the place of an ancient sacred forest. There still stands one of the oldest oak trees in the country. Oak of Perkūnas, or the god of thunder, is shrouded in legends, and the mark of a lightning on the tree only makes the name of the tree more fitting. The palace has some other buildings too, most notably the clock tower with a greenhouse. It is the oldest building in Plungė, built in 1846 by Count Zuboi, who lived here before Oginskis. The house looks very much like a mini version of Palazzo Vecchio in Florence. Today it is a local library, which is a beautiful blend of history and nature together. There also is a book from the original collection of Mykolas Oginskis library. The library has some exhibition rooms as well, and the tower clock is still working. A friendly librarian even showed this tiny passage to see the clock from below. The palace and its park is definitely the center of culture in Plungė, with the amphitheater at its edge for bigger events. It was the 6th of July celebration when I visited, Coronation Day of King Mindaugas. There actually are festivities all around the country on that day. Plungė has one more place to relax, the coast of the Sea of Plungė. Yes, the sea. The dam that is right in the middle of the city is nicknamed the Sea of Plungė. But it has a really great coastline with playgrounds, beaches and long walking paths. One more lovely spot to stop by in Plungė is right next to the manor's park at the riverside, the waterfall at the place where an old watermill used to be. I stayed at a hotel here for a few nights, and it has a cozy restaurant with some great meals and waterfall next to it. It's a popular spot for travelers. The restaurant was busy all weekend. Another culturally rich place in Plungė district is a very small and old town, Kulei. There used to live a priest, famous writer and activist Juozas Tumas Vaižgantas. During the prohibition of Lithuanian press, he established a distribution spot for book smuggling in Samogitia. But book smuggling is a topic for a whole different video. Vaižgantas was also a teacher to Sofija Kymantaitė, who later became a writer and wife of Čiurlionis, of whom I have mentioned before. She is the reason why I came to Kulė at this time, the beginning of July. There is a cultural festival happening here every year dedicated to Sofija Kymantaitė Čiurlionienė. Sofija was much less known than her famous husband, but she was pivotal in making his work known. To honor her work, the festival was established by artists living in town, and now Sofija Festival attracts numerous artists, painters, musicians, craftsmen, and more. The whole week is filled with concerts, theater shows, exhibitions, workshops. On the last day of the festival, there also was a theatrical crafts market and fair, Jomarkas. There was plenty of activities, fun shows, local foods, and much more. Let's move on to the natural side of Plungė district, the beautiful Samogitia National Park. It is one of the only 5 national parks in the country, and it protects the picturesque Plateliai lake surrounded by hills that are tall in Lithuanian standards. Plateliai is the largest lake in Samogitia region, with plenty of small islands, and on one of which there used to be a castle in the 15th century. Plateliai Lake is famous today for those who seek a holiday in nature by the lake. There is a variety of holiday home rentals available from very cheap to exclusive, and an abundance of campsites on every side of the lake. There also are plenty of activities for everybody's taste. There are numerous water activities such as fishing, kayaking, boat rides, sailing. Oh, and there is also a sailing regatta competition every July, and even a swimming marathon across the lake. Plateliai is also a popular diving place. Furthermore, the lake is surrounded by bicycle trails, and it is a very popular pastime to ride bikes around the lake and do some sightseeing along the way. There also are multiple forest cognitive trails such as Plateliais, Plokštinės cognitive trails on the forest-filled remote side of the lake, and Šeirės cognitive trail from Plateliai town with the views to the lake. There even is a trail for kids inside an old Plateliai Manor Park. You can get a good view of the lake and the surroundings from Siberia Observational Tower at the entrance to the town, and at an observational deck near the yacht club. Plateliai town also has something of its own worth stopping for. Plateliai used to have a manor in the 19th century, but it was lost in a fire during the Second World War. But a few other buildings are still left, such as the stable, which is now a gallery of masks from Užgavėnės, Shrove Tuesday. It's a fun winter festival, and I have made a whole video about it, which I'll leave a link in the description if you would like to watch. So you have probably already guessed that Plateliai has one of the best Užgavėnės festivals in Lithuania, which happens in February. The Manor's barn also has a small museum dedicated to the history of Samogitia National Park. The visitor center of the national park is also situated nearby. Next to it there is an 18th century wooden church, and just outside town there is another one of a similar age, built in classic Lithuanian style on a small hill with a spectacular views to another lake. Next we visit another town in the national park, Žemaičių Kalvarija. It was first mentioned in history in the 13th century, and it still has the old road network and a hill fort nearby. At town's center there is the most famous place, the 19th century church, titled as the Minor Basilica by Pope John Paul II. Žemaičių Kalvarija is one of the major sites for Catholic pilgrimages in Lithuania. I have happened to visit it during the popular yearly pilgrim festival in July, the Great Žemaičių Kalvarija Festival. It attracts thousands of visitors, there are lots of prayers, events, and people going through the Way of the Cross. In 1937, a record number of 100,000 pilgrims visited the town during the festival. Wow! And now let's go to the last but not least place to see in Plungė district, the Cold War Museum in the Soviet Union's complex of ballistic missile silo launch. Even just saying the name of the place out loud sounds intimidating. This place used to be a secret Soviet military base, well hidden deep inside the Samogitian forests. From 1963 to 1978, there had been deployed 4 medium-range ballistic missiles SS-4 armed with 2 megaton-powered thermonuclear warheads. They were targeting major cities in Western Europe and had the capability to wipe out all Europe. This military base is now open for visitors as the Cold War Museum, where you can learn all about the Cold War, about the Soviets and the Americans. There even is a red button for a nuclear bomb to go off in one room. It is interesting to go and wander through the bunker's labyrinth-like corridors and have a look inside a 30 meters deep missile silo. Overall, I think that Plungė district is well worth a visit, no matter if you are interested in culture, nature, religion, history, sports activities, or all of them combined. I took 4 days to visit the region, as there are so many interesting places around. I think that Plungė is a great place to include into any trip to Western Lithuania, and it is quite on the way for those who travel towards the seaside too. See you in Plungė! Thanks for watching!